The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone the tyre of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa. Welcome back to Kyalami for race 2 of round 8, the final race of this doubleheader, round 7 and 8. As the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup forms part of the Festival of Motoring. The spectators were anxious, but so were the riders, as this was the final race of the weekend. Keith Agliotti taking a break in between races, but there would be no break for Gyro Cruz. That nasty crash in race 1 meant him and his team had a lot of work to do on his motorcycle to repair it and get it ready for race 2. Luckily, Gyro Cruz himself was relatively uninjured, so he would be looking to recover and bounce back come race 2. Nothing like a Red Square reload to get yourself ready, to get yourself amped and in the zone and energized for race 2. Great to have Johan Leroux back with us in the paddock after that nasty crash at round 7. Clinton Sella, would this be the race he clinches the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup Championship? Time to put those helmets and gloves on, give your son a fist pump, and get ready for race 2 of round 8 here at Kyalami. As the riders made their way out of pit lane for the final time of asking this weekend, let's remind ourselves of the combined qualifying for round 8. Clinton Sella on pole position on a 147.926, ahead of Damien Perficati in second, Trevor Westman in third, Graham Fromidar in fourth, Han McMahon, David Enticott, Mark Newland in seventh, James Barson in eighth, David Feringa in ninth, Adi van Dalen in 10th, Peter de Vos in 11th, Christian Carvello in 12th, Keith Agliotti, Johan Leroux absent from this race in 14th, 15th Byron Rothquell, 16th Dieter Huisman, and 17th Tyron Piper. Gyro Cruz in 18th, followed by Perron Pereseman, 20th Renatus van der Kerk, ahead of Sifiso Temba, who's hopefully put fuel in his bike this time. Lubas in 22nd, ahead of Aubrey Murray, Lionel Black, Ian Harwood, Stephen Golgotzi, with Gill, Barrington, Christie, and Barry rounding out the grid. The riders took to their grid slots in anticipation for race 1 of round 8. Under starters' orders, lights off, and away the riders went. And it was a fantastic start, once again from Clinton Sella, as the rest of the field made their way through. Suey Christie battling to get off the line yet again, but heading down into turn 1, which is Growthorne. It was still Clinton Sella out front, followed by Damien Perficati, Trevor Westman, Graham Fromidar looking for a move on the inside, bumping and barging down the field. Aubrey Murray looking at going on the inside of Gyro Cruz, who was back up and running after his race 1's crash. Adi van Dalen on the 469 and made a great start up into the top 5 positions in 5th. So a great start with Christian Carvello just behind him, and a whole group of riders looking to take advantage. Stewie Christie had already made his way past Martin Parry, as we take a ride on board with the number 37 of Byron Rothquell. It was a great start by Gyro Cruz on his right-hand side, making up some good ground off the start. But Byron lunging up the inside, heading into Crowthorne, which is of course turn 1, also on the inside of Peter de Vos, as he looks at going around the outside of David Feringa, who actually got quite a bad start. So he is in that battle there, and he would have to make up some ground if he would like to get into those top 5 overall positions come the end of the race. Out front, though, it was the number 11 of Clinton Sella ahead of Damien Perficati, the number 4 of Han McMahon with a great start up to 3rd place, Trevor Westman ahead of Graham Fromidar, Adi van Dalen, Christian Carvello ahead of David Enticott, Mark Newland, James Barson, David Feringa, Byron Rothquell, Keith Agliotti, a great move on the inside, great start, Sifiso Temba on the inside of Dieter Huisman, Perron Pereseman, Peter de Vos, Renatus van der Kerk, Aubrey Murray, Gyro Cruz, Lionel Black, Tyron Piper, and that's Lubas ahead of Stephen Golgotzi, Ian Harwood getting trailed by the number 65 of Stewie Christie and Martin Parry rounding out the field there. The riders headed into clubhouse, jostling for position, and a great move on the inside from Perron on the inside of the number 63, Sifiso Temba, and likewise a move on his teammate by Stephen Golgotsi, demoting Lubas yet another place. But at the top of Leeuwkop was still Clinton Sella, ahead of Damien Pervocati, the number 4 of Han McMahon, doing a superb job holding off the intentions of the number 60, Trevor Westman, and Graham from Midal behind him. As the rest of the riders made their way through Leeuwkop and down to the mine shaft, it was great to see Stewie Chrissy having a great outing. He was now on the back of Ian Harwood, so putting pressure on the back of the number 24 man. The riders made their way down the mine shaft into the Crocodiles, and it was still Clinton Sella out front, pulling a lead already, as he did in the previous 3 races. So a great start from Clinton Sella. You can see the rest of the field tightly packed though, little gaps forming. However, most of the riders on each other's tailpieces, as was Byron Rothwell on the back of Keith Agliotti. Mark Newland trying to get on the inside. Ooh, that was a close one. On the inside of the number 469 of Adi van Dalen, heading into Ingwe. But he had to back out of that. He had the door firmly shut on him by AD. So that was turning out to be a great battle as well. Martin Perry was having yet another great ride, setting PB lap times and keeping tabs with the group ahead of him. But across the line, it was Clinton Sella, already with a couple of second lead over second place man Damien Pervocati. But the battle for third was heating up nicely now. Han McMahon was under immense pressure from both Trevor Westman and Graham from Midal. While further back, Lubas was doing his utmost to try and keep tabs with Stephen Golgotsi after getting past on that opening lap. So he had a lot of ground to make up with, and remember, he is on that spare bike, so maybe just got a little bit of setup wrong, got a bad start, so he would have to make his way through the field. And speaking about making way through the field, that's Trevor Westman, who had now got up to third place, past Han McMahon, Graham from Midal, now still in 5th place, looking at getting a move done on Han McMahon as he hoped to go with Trevor Westman. Out front though, Clinton Sella still ahead of Damien Pervocati, and here was Trevor Westman, who had now already started to pull a bike length or two ahead of Han McMahon in 4th place, and Graham from Midal in 5th, looking at trying to make a move to make his way past the number 4 man to try and keep tabs with Trevor Westman. And the number 2 of Mark Newland was now just ahead of David Enticott. David Feringa on the 117, making his way through the pack after a poor start. Christian Carvello on the 88 under immense pressure from James Barson, while Keith Agliotti had pulled a little bit of a gap ahead of Byron Rothwell, the number 17 man. That is the first veteran rider, and that is Peter de Vos ahead of Dieter Huisman, Perron Pereseman, and the number 57 of Renatus van der Kerk, also with a great start. And then a little bit of a gap behind Renatus was the number 48 of Aubrey Marais, the number 45 of Taran Papa. He would have hoped for a better start. Sifiso Temba ahead of Lionel Black, Jairo Cruz, and Stephen Golgotsi ahead of the number 12, which should be number 63, Machine of Lubas. Behind Lubas, it was the number 24 of Ian Harwood, still under pressure from Stewie Christie. So this was a all-veteran battle, and this would rage on pretty much the entire race. And behind them, it was a lonely last place for Martin Perry. But once again, Martin setting impressive lap times, improving lap after lap. Heading into clubhouse, and a move on the inside from Graham from Midal on Han McMahon. A great move there from the number 1 man. And behind the battle, getting led by Mark Newland, was still raging on. And the field was quite closely packed. And a move on the inside there as well. That is Lionel Black on the inside of Sifiso Temba. And Sifiso was now coming under immense pressure from Jairo Cruz, who is on a damaged motorcycle, but repaired, let's say, after that nasty crash in race 1. So tough as nails is Jairo. So great to see that he was able to make the start of race 2 and doing an incredible job at the same time. While the number 70 of Dieter Huisman was also doing an incredible job, setting impressive lap times. And further on in the race, Clinton Sella was still ahead of Damien Pervocati, and Trevor Westman in 3rd, followed by Graham from Midal. Han McMahon now demoted to 5th place after that great start. Perron making his intentions felt as well, and this battle was raging on. Ian Harwood under intense pressure from the veteran rider, the number 65 of Stewie Christie. Back at the front, it was Clinton Sella doing what he does best, ahead of Damien Perivocati. Trevor Westman having a look behind him in third place, Graham van Midar in fourth, and Hein McMahon in fifth, as the riders made their way to Ingwe to complete yet another lap. The battle between Newland, Feringa, James Barson, David Enticott, and Christian Carvello was still raging on. Eddie van Dalen had fallen out of that battle, unfortunately, and he had encountered an issue with his gear linkage rod snapping, so an unfortunate ending into what was looking like a fantastic race for Eddie van Dalen. No such issues out front for your leader, Clinton Sella, who was having a good race, and Trevor Westman had now closed down the gap to Damien Perivocati, so that was a great battle. Aubrey Marais trying his utmost as well to keep tabs on Taran Papa, while Jayo Cruz looking for a move on the inside in Crowthorne, and that was on Sifiso Temba. So after a good start, Jayo trying to make his way through the pack, and that's exactly what Lubas was doing, as he had now found his way back through on Stephen Golgotzi, while Mark Newland, David Feringa, David Enticott, James Barson was still in that almighty battle, and they had now put a little bit of distance between themselves and Christian Carvello heading through Sunset, and you can see all of the black lines that all of these riders were leaving out on the Kyalami International Grand Prix Circuit. Damien Perivocati with a long black line, as was Trevor Westman, as was most of the field. Really, really nice to see all of these riders put their skill to the test here at Kyalami in one of the best two-wheel circuit racing series in South Africa. That is, of course, the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Graham van Midar was now pulling a little bit of a gap on Hein McMahon, and that was obviously the battle for fourth and fifth place, while behind them Mark Newland was under immense pressure. David Feringa looking for a move on the inside, heading through Sunset into Clubhouse, and that's a move that he would possibly make stick, as he looks to dive on the inside. A very tough place to pass, but yes indeed, David Feringa making that move stick on Mark Newland, and that tussling between them was allowing Christian Carvello to come back into that battle. While further back, you had the veteran rider of Peter de Vos, who was also under increasing pressure and having a good race with Keith Agliotti, while Byron Rothkohl and Dieter Huisman were having a great battle. So a much better outing from Dieter Huisman in the second race here of round 8 at Kyalami. Further back was the number 48 of Aubrey Marais, having a good ride, and he was getting chased down by Taran Papa on the number 45. Taran was hoping to be a little bit higher up than he currently was, and behind them it was Lionel Black with quite a wide line, leaving a black mark on the track. So a great ride by Lionel in his debut weekend in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Heading into Clubhouse, and Renatus van der Kijk was starting to get dropped by Byron Rothkohl and Dieter Huisman, while further behind some great battles. Jayo Cruz still looking for a move and away past Sifiso Temba, who was doing a great defensive job at keeping the number 76 man behind him. As the riders made their way through the S's, it was still Clinton Sella out front, Damien Perivocati in second, and Trevor Westman hot on his heels in third. Clinton Sella was looking at changing the number 11 to a number 1 and taking it away from Graham van Midar. So Graham van Midar unfortunately won't be retaining his title, which he won last year. And a bit of sideways action at the top of the hill. Mark Newland, David Feringa and David Enticott having a ding-dong battle. That was absolutely great to watch. Keith Agliotti ahead of Byron Rothkohl and Dieter Huisman. And behind Dieter Huisman was still Renatus van der Kijk doing his utmost to close that gap. Sifiso Temba was having a great ride in the second race. It's amazing what you can do when you have petrol in your motorbike, Sifiso. So a great ride. He was closing down on Lionel Black, while still this battle was raging on. Ian Harwood doing his utmost to keep the hard-charging Stewie Christie behind him. But up front, the fastest veteran was Peter de Vos, yet again having a sterling weekend on the number 17. No one, though, was having or about to have a better weekend than Clinton Sella on the King Pass Extreme Kawasaki, as he was chasing his first ever SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup Championship to add to his 10 other glorious SA titles. At the front, though, the gap between the riders had started to increase ever so slightly, And it was a bit of a lonely ride out front now for the leading 5 riders, while behind them, no such space given. Mark Newland was still under pressure by David Feringa, and a whole host of riders behind him doing their utmost to get one up on the number 2 man, who was also having a great outing, his best weekend in a long time, if not ever, in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. So after that great initial launch up into 3rd place, the number 4 of Han McMahon was having to settle for 5th place at this stage of the race. The number 10 of Perron Parasimon was now coming under pressure from the number 70 of Dieter Huisman, while no pressure out front for Clinton Seller on the number 11 King Price Extreme Kawasaki ZX10 machine. The battle for second had closed up a little bit. Trevor Westman getting his claws once again back into the back of Damien Pervocati, while further behind, this battle still raged on. Mark Newland, Dieter Huisman, and David Enticott on the number 78. They had now stretched out a little bit of a lead over the number 15 of James Barson. And further behind that, there was a great battle happening, and that was Sifiso Temba with Perron just behind. And looking at making up lost time was Lubas on the number 12 bike. Out front, Clinton Seller, now in the closing stages of the race, heading ever closer to that overall championship in the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Second, Damien Pervocati, Trevor Westman in 3rd, while this battle between Mark Newland and the number 117 of the Juggernaut, that was David Feringa, was still carrying on, raging on, and was definitely going to carry on until that checkered flag. David Enticott, though, had other plans. He was throwing his machine into that battle, closing the gap once again. The number 17 of Peter de Vos was quite a little distance now ahead of Renatus van der Kerk, who was having a great outing. That's more like it, Renatus. That's what we want to see. That's what we expect of you. The number 78, that is David Enticott, having a great ride. Great to see Graham from Midar finally getting to grips with the number 1, the brand new ZX10R Gen 6, which he battled with throughout the early stages of 2024. But now he was literally letting sparks fly. Up front, heading through Ingwe yet again, the front positions remain unchanged. While further down, Han McMahon was now in a lonely 5th place after that great start. Across the line though, it was Clinton Seller, the new 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup champion. What a great ride, what a great season from the number 11. A great second place from Damien Pervocati ahead of Trevor Westman, and they had lapped Martin Perry. Graham from Midar with a great but lonely 4th place, while in 5th place a great ride from Han McMahon on the number 4 machine, as we wait to see who took that all-important 6th place. And it was Mark Newland, just ahead of David Enticott, and the number 117 of David Feringa just behind them as well. So a close finish across the line. What a great, enthralling and exciting race these men put on for us around the Kyalami International Grand Prix Circuit. Great also to see Renatus van der Kerk running inside the top positions. So a great performance, but battles throughout the whole field to the line, quite literally, side by side. That's what we have come to expect from the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. So there we have it. Great celebrations with his team. Clinton Seller is the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup champion. Clinton Seller and Steve Cannon. So Clint, thanks to Steve Cannon and a little bit to you, more Steve Cannon. More Steve, you are the 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup overall champion. So the Masters champion and overall, with a couple of rounds to spare.
Yeah.
You got a nice ice-cold red square reload there. How do you feel?
Good, yeah. Just happy to get it done. We knew it was possible this weekend, and yeah, I think Steve provides me, my King Price Extreme team. Yeah, everyone just provided me an incredible package that from the first session we knew we had something special, and yeah, 4 wins. Well, no, they cancelled 1, so 3 wins on the trot. and secured the title, which was the number 1 goal of the weekend. So
Great stuff. So that's title number 11.
Yeah.
So that makes you pretty much one of the most successful racers on 2 wheels in South Africa and South African history, most probably. But an amazing achievement, proving that you still are quite fast at your ripe old age now.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad. So well done. Celebrate it. A huge achievement, and well done to you and the whole team.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Number 1.
Peron, it doesn't look like it's raining, but yet. A hard, tough race. How was it for you?
Got off to a good start. Managed to sit with the guys in the front. But unfortunately ran out of talent into turn 1. So did a bit of farming. And then had to work my way back from last and coming through. But good race overall. Just ran out of laps, unfortunately.
Great. So a good round 7 and 8 for you. Your lap times have improved.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
getting to grips with the Kawasaki ZX10, getting to grips with the Bridgestone tires.
Definitely.
You'll
Best
definitely
tire,
want to
best
watch.
bike was rider.
Well, there we go. You can improve one of those at least.
Definitely.
Best of luck. We'll see you out at round 9.
Thank you, guys.
Race 2 of round 8 done and dusted. And for the riders, it was a long and excruciating race. But time to take themselves, their machinery, their loved ones, and their mechanics back to pit lane and prepare themselves for round 9 at Kyalami in Cape Town. With that being said, let's take a look at race 2's final results. Clinton Sella taking victory, and with it, the 2024 title. Damien Perificati in second, Trevor Westman in third, followed by Graham Frambidor, Han McMahon, Mark Newland, David Enticott, David Feringa, James Barson, Christian Carvello, Peter de Vos, Renatus van der Kerk, Keith Agliotti, Byron Rothwell, Dieter Huisman, Tyron Piper, and Arby Murray in 17th place. Lionel Black, an impressive 18th place ahead of Dryo Cruz in 19th, a great comeback after yesterday's massive crash. Peron Parasimon in 20th, ahead of Sifiso Temba in 21st, Lubas in 22nd, Stephen Golgotti in 23rd, Ian Harwood 24th, Stewie Christie in 25th, Martin Perry in 26th, and unfortunately, Adi van Dalen with that DNF. The 2024 SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by SunBet, Red Square, Bridgestone the tire of choice, and Kawasaki South Africa.